Meantime, a bad set of numbers from Asia today on the economic front. Manufacturing, in fact, in China today, activity there fell for the fifth month in December, which CLSA says suggests the manufacturing sector, I should say, is close to a technical recession. Over in South Korea, we saw exports falling 17.4% year-on-year in December as demand fizzled out there. Daniel So is a regional economist and forex strategist at Forecast and joins us now for more analysis. Let's start first with the China story here. As we see manufacturing essentially crumbling in China, this is a very large part of their economy. Do you see the government taking the right steps then to try and shore up manufacturing, or is there not much they can do because it's so externally focused?
In the short term, there's nothing much they can do because the fiscal stimulus package takes time to roll out. So they may try to shift the manufacturing of export-oriented goods to maybe domestic in terms of the boom in infrastructure, but all this take time to roll out. So maybe in the first half of 2009, we should still see significant downside risk to China growth.
In London here, there's been lots of talk about deflationary pressures coming out in 2009 being exported around the world, really. Where do you stand on that issue?
You mean the deflationary pressure around the world, including China?
Yes.
I see deflationary pressure is definitely getting larger because if you look at the past, food prices has hit record level, and right now they're going to trend down. There will be a inflationary reversal trend because of a nasty global deceleration, and the property buzz are showing that housing cost is going to collapse too. So deflation is definitely on the cards, and at least there will be huge disinflationary pressure across Asia and in China in the most of 2009.
Daniel, it's Brian here in the States. You talk about pressure. What about the pressure on the Chinese yuan and in terms of whether the devaluation or appreciation of it and how it's going to impact the rest of Asia, but also the U.S. and beyond?
We see no change in the China FX policy because they are looking at a long-term economic restructuring goal. So they will invite a lot of mounting global criticism if they actually do a devaluation. And in this kind of weakening global external demand, I don't think that a weaker currency is going to boost export much. So they will be more favored towards employing a VAT tax rebate to boost trade. So in terms of that, I see a steady yuan against the USD. So, but in the second half of 2009, I believe that most of the currency imbalances for the yuan may already been corrected. So the yuan may be allowed to appreciate mildly at a gentle trend against the USD, and that's a time where we will see the yuan moving more in line with Asian currency.
Daniel, one of the first central banks to meet in 2009 is going to be the Bank of Korea, which will decide next week what they're going to do on interest rates. The market's expecting now at least a 50 basis point rate cut, and especially with today's data on the trade front for Korea, it's looking pretty gloomy for 2009, right?
Yes, we are seeing an economic contraction on a quarterly basis in this quarter, followed by a steeper downturn in the first half of 2009. In other words, South Korea will have to declare a technical recession in first quarter of 2009. We are looking at least 50 basis point cut in January, followed by at least another 75 basis point cut in the first half of 2009.
And that's just, of course, going to weaken the won even further, in other words.
The worst for the won may already be over. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Daniel. Daniel So here, regional economist and forex strategist at Forecast, joining us here in Singapore.